Today I want to talk about why you shouldn't be afraid to take inspiration from others. Hey guys, welcome back to Tipharot. It's me, Matt here, and today I'm talking about getting inspiration from other people. A lot of people neglect to do this. A lot of people are afraid that if they take ideas from elsewhere, that they're not being original. But I want to clarify that what I'm talking about here is not the same as plagiarizing someone's ideas, because that in itself is just silly because you're not going to get anything from it. You're just going to be copying someone else, and so you're not going to benefit in any way. What I'm talking about here is looking at other people's works, looking at things other people do, and learning from the way they do things and incorporating some of the things that they do well, maybe tweaking some things and so on, rather than just trying to do everything in your own way. You are an individual, you are original in your own way in whatever it is that you do, but there are some things that other people already do very, very well, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So I want to tell you guys a little bit of a story. Several years back when I was in my teenage years, I was interested in the idea of producing music. Not as a serious thing, not like as a career or anything like that. I just wanted to produce music for fun because, I love music, and I thought it would be really cool if I could make the kind of music that I can hear in my head. I am a musical person a lot of the time, and so I will get, catchy tunes just pop up in my head, but I have no way of, making them tangible because, I couldn't produce music. So I always wanted to learn, and I tried it out when I was younger, and basically I got nowhere with it. I followed all these tutorials online and everything, and I just had no clue what I was doing. And I was just basically following instructions, and then I was trying to do things my own way. I was trying to, take those instructions and trying to build something out of it without really following, the established rules of how something works in music. And experimentation and breaking the rules in music is a very useful and powerful thing, but it's not quite so useful and powerful if you don't even know how to make a regular song first, because you're just going to make something that, quite frankly, doesn't sound very good. Now yesterday I met up with one of my friends who's very interested in music production, and he does it himself, and he agreed to actually teach me some of the basics. Because basically I have no clue what I'm doing, never even used the particular program we were going to use before, and so I didn't know where to start or anything. And so he came over and he was basically just explaining things to me as we went along. And one of the things that he did that was kind of interesting to me, that I don't know why I never even considered before, is that he asked me to actually get a track of the kind of genre of music I was interested in making. So I was kind of interested. I thought, old school house music might be something that would be kind of easy to try and emulate. I wouldn't be making a good house track, but the kind of basic idea of a house track is, involves a lot of repetition and so on, so I thought it might be something easier for a beginner to at least try. So I got this track, I got an example track, an old school house track. I forget which one I used, but anyway, I got that, and we put it into the program, and we just looked at it. We listened to parts of it, and he got me to actually look at what was going on in the track. And so I did that. I listened to what was going on, and I could hear the different parts of the song. I was able to break it down to what was actually happening and where the song was changing and so on. And by doing this, I was able to learn a lot faster and, actually get an entire song completed yesterday. Now, this isn't the kind of song that I would ever share with anyone because it's not very good, but it was the first ever attempt at making a song that I made, and, I actually managed to finish the song. So I was quite happy with that, and I did that because I was able to take inspiration from this track that was there. Now, I didn't try to, copy the whole track or whatever, but I used parts that were cool in the track. If there was a certain way that they did something, then I would try and figure out how to do that myself. I didn't actually take content from that track, but I would work out, okay, so they have, drums in this bit, and they have, some bass in the background, they have a synthesizer or something, and so I would go, okay, I'll try and do those things myself. So I'll put in, a drum beat, I'll add in a synthesizer, and I'll add in some bass, and I'll come up with my own beat there. And that was what I did, and I basically reverse engineered this track, and I tried to, replicate some of the things they were doing in my own way. And doing it like this allowed me to get a lot further in one day than I did in my previous attempts years back in weeks of trying things. See, when I tried it back then, I would try to make a song, and I would get, a minute of the song done, and it just would sound terrible, firstly. The thing I made yesterday didn't exactly sound very good, but compared to what I made back then, you know, it was worlds apart. And the other thing is, while you're actually being inspired by someone else's idea, you'll get ideas of your own. So when I was doing this, you know, I was listening to how their track went, and there were certain things in there that I couldn't do. One of the things they had in there was vocals that, you know, I couldn't really add in because I don't really have a singing voice. I didn't fancy trying. So I thought, hey, you know, maybe I need to add something else in there. And so I actually basically thought, hey, what if I add some voice in there, but it's not like singing? And what if I add, you know, just a voice from like a lecture or something that I like? And I ended up, you know, finding these lectures and basically taking a few clips from there and putting them into the song in a way that fit with what was going on in the song. And like that idea just came to me because I was looking at the existing track and I saw what they were doing. If I tried to come up with just a plain idea for the song on my own, I wouldn't have ever came up with that idea. So even your own ideas can sometimes be inspired by looking at someone else's. And that's just one example of many. There are so many places where you can learn from others. YouTube, for example. I see all these people starting on YouTube and they just try to do everything their own way. You know, they're very convinced that they know best and so on. And they ignore the information out there that's available from all the YouTube experts. There are people out there who have made it their job to learn how to grow on YouTube, to learn how to, you know, do the best SEO and get your videos to rank, to learn how to get more subscribers and so on. And so if you really want to start a YouTube channel, you should be looking to them for advice. You shouldn't be just trying to go it all on your own from the start when you don't actually know how to do things. The same, for example, if you're an author. If you like to write, say, fantasy novels or something, and you don't actually read any fantasy novels to, you know, get inspired, then you're never going to write a great book. You know, all of these people who have written great books themselves have also read tons and tons of great books. And often it'll be that, you know, they're reading one of these books, one of their favourite books, and ideas of their own just spring into mind. I get the same thing a lot with YouTube. So I'll be watching a YouTube video and someone will be discussing something and it might be something completely, you know, not relevant to my channel whatsoever, but just something that they say will remind me of something or cause an idea to spring up in my mind, and basically from there I have a video idea. So never be afraid to be inspired by others, and in fact rely on it as a beginner. When you're a beginner in any field of any sort, and even when you're an expert, you should look to others and don't just believe that your way is the complete best and that, you know, no one else knows how it is. Because let's face it, even if you're an expert at something, there are other people who do the same thing that you do that will do some of the things that you do a lot better. And even if they don't do them better, they'll sometimes do them in a new creative way that is just more useful to you. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and I hope that you found it helpful. If you did, remember to subscribe up there for more. And if you haven't already, then you should definitely check out my Patreon page. It's available to everyone, whether you want to support the channel or not. I post blog posts and other things on there, so you should check it out over there. Thank you guys for watching. Take care.